So in this video, we're going to talk about the cost of starting your first serious e-commerce business. The reason why I call it a serious e-commerce business is because this business is the one you would start and then scale to your first 1 million, 10 million, 100 million, and maybe 1 billion. Never say never, right? So I started my e-commerce business in 2018, and it was in 2021 that I really started to average 1 million naira a month online from one of my e-commerce stores. The first thing you want to look at when it comes to, the cost of setting up your e-commerce business is identifying your business model, e-commerce business model. I mentioned this in a previous video. I'm going to put the link in the description where we talk about either you starting a dropshipping business or a branded e-commerce business or a branded e-commerce store. One of those two. When you are getting started, if you're starting with dropshipping, the cost of setup is not as high as the cost of starting a branded product e-commerce business. And the reason why is with dropshipping, majority of your cost would be you buying the product and a few extras. So that would largely be for two things. Number one, sampling. You want to test the quality of the product that you'll be delivering to customers. Number two, you want to have products that you can easily use to create your own ads. Nowadays with e-commerce, the one thing that, there are two things. The major things that really help people stand out in e-commerce is number one, the products. Number two, the creatives. All right? Always never forget that. 70% products, 20% creatives, 10% is your, customer experience and things like that. If it's a good product, you have a good ad, you'll make money. Simple. Right? Now, if you're starting a branded product e-commerce store, it's a bit tricky because majority of the time you would have to do what they call MOQ, so which is the minimum order quantity. And what I've come to find out, especially in my own experience, is the actual minimum MOQ you can work with is 100 pieces. 100, 500, 1,000. That's typically your MOQ. There are certain scenarios where you can do pre-purchase, pre-order, things like that. But because of the time frame, those businesses are a bit tricky to start as an e-commerce business. In a previous video, I spoke about how e-commerce is, a very logistics-driven business where logistics is sort of the oxygen, where creatives and advertising is the blood, right? It's a bit extreme, but you get what I'm trying to say. So that's how you want to get started. The second thing you need to consider is, how you're going to register. You can't be telling your customers to be making payment into a personal account. There are two types of business registrations that we have in Nigeria. You have the business name registration. That typically costs about, I think 30. So I've not done business name registration in a very long time. Most of my companies now are just always LLCs. And the reason why I always prefer LLC, you know what? It's just, I prefer it. There are my own personal reasons. If you want me to sort of explain further why I prefer LLCs to business name, let me know in the comments. And then I'll probably just create a video about the differences, pros and cons, all of that. But if it's your first e-commerce business, you can start with a business name registration. And that typically costs about maybe 20 to 35K. When I started when I had a business name business, is that the right thing to say? Business name business. When I had a business name registration business, I paid 5K. I paid 5K to register it. Then I paid the lawyer, I think 8K. So that was 13K. But at that period, the vice president of Nigeria had, sort of given he did like a discount for registering businesses. So registering a business name was 5K. Registering an LLC was, I think, 30K or 35K. Mind you, because I was just starting from scratch that particular period and that particular time, I started 4 different businesses. So I registered 4 different business names, 20K, and I just tested out different things. 2 of them clicked. One clicked, but it flopped later on. And then the last one never left the ground. But that's pretty much how I did it. Until today, 2 of those 4 are running. They've switched to LLCs. So yes, obviously you can switch to an LLC when you scale the business, right? So it depends on you. Just let me know in the comments if you want to have a better understanding of the difference between business name and LLCs, and I can talk about that. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a tax advisor or anything like that, but I have my own personal reasons as to why I prefer LLCs to business names. But yeah, that's the second thing you want to focus on your business. Now, the next thing is packaging materials. It depends on the kind of business you have. So if you're in fashion, if you're in food, if you sell hair is under what now? Hair is beauty, Abby. So yeah, if you sell hair, if you sell even skincare, there are different packaging materials. It could be bottles, it could be bags, it could be thank you cards, it could be business cards. So people like business cards. I'm not a huge fan of business cards. It could be labels, it could be anything. All that is part of your packaging materials. All that is part of your experience, customer experience, how you deliver the goods. Now, because this is your first e-commerce business, you can start small and then scale up. Majority of the time, when it comes to packaging materials and, doing all of those, your first runs, it gets cheaper the more you do. So let's say if I'm doing 200 labels, it's cheaper for me to do 200 labels than 100 labels. But you're just starting, right? And in that starting phase, you're going to experiment a lot. So the money that you're supposed to be spending on advertising and pushing your products, don't waste it on packaging materials. Focus on what needs to be done. Only what needs to be done, and keep it moving, right? So it's not ridiculous. I'll probably say 60 to it depends on your business. You can go as high as 350k, guys. You don't want to know how much I pay for packaging materials at the moment. The money I pay for packaging materials at the moment can start a new business. Just to give you context. After packaging materials, you then have UGC, right? UGC content, things like that. UGC is just basically user-generated content. And what that stands for is content that a person shoots for you, right? There's content that you shoot yourself where you record the product, maybe you put it on a mannequin, things like that. Then there's content that somebody gives some sort of POV, their own version of the story, their own version of the product, their own experience and things like that. That kind of, content almost plays into word of mouth marketing, and it also helps you. It's easier to market online nowadays. People want to hear from another person's perspective or understand another person's perspective, and the best way to do that is through UGC content. What you can do is you can get your family and friends to actually use your product, whatever it might be, and then record that whole process. So they can record them using the product, they can record themselves after using the product, they can record themselves during the process of using the product, all those kind of things, right? Another one is you actually paying influencers, actually paying people to create content for you. This is one thing I've done. And so I have this, it's not a trick, but what I've done is when I'm running ads, right? And I notice that somebody engages with the ad, but let's say obviously they didn't pay for something or they didn't buy. But when I go to their platform, I go to their page, I see that, I see the kind of character that they have. Some people are very active on camera. Some people are very bubbly on camera. Some people naturally create UGC content without even knowing they are creating UGC content. I actually reach out to those people and I tell them that, hi, really love your content, really love your page. Will you create content for our product? If we send you this product, can we get a video from it? Can we get some nice pictures? Here's some inspiration of things that we're looking to do. I can send them examples, things like that, right? And then some of them, they'll tell you that, oh, this is amazing, and then someone asks for money. I've been in a few situations where they ask for money. And to be fair, I paid like 2-3 of them. One was in Abuja. The other one was in, where was that babe? Kasha. What was that babe? I can't remember where she was. But she was somewhere in, I think she was in Benin or something. I paid her as well. She gave us very, very nice content back. Very nice videos that were perfect for ads. And obviously, they will get the product for free. Do you want to send it and let them return it back? What's that? But it's not as expensive as you think. And also, you are building a content bank. Again, like I said at the beginning of this video, guys, the most important thing nowadays with e-commerce businesses is number one, the product. Number two is your creatives. Once you get your product and your creatives right, you're a billionaire. Don't worry, you're a billionaire. Trust me. But yeah, that's what you want to look at. If you're just starting out and you're on a very tight budget, family and friends, let them just create content for you. But you make sure you reward them, right? So if your family and friends, you want to give them maybe give them that item for free, or pay them, or send them chow, send them food or something. Just don't let them do it for free, because it go pain them. They will not tell you, but they pain. And I'm talking from experience because I've created content for a lot of people for free, and they didn't give me anything, and it pained me. So the next one now is your marketing apps and advertising. Now, when it comes to marketing apps, what I'm talking about here is the applications you use to promote your products online. Okay? Now, when it comes to social media, you primarily have two options. Well, you have three, but I always talk about two. So you have Facebook, you have Instagram, you have TikTok. I didn't mention LinkedIn here, and I get why. But you have Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, right? Now, majority of the time, and where we are today, you are focusing on either Instagram or TikTok. Facebook is not there. Don't get me wrong. There are customers on Facebook. I've just found out that where there's money, I like to focus on it. There's money in Facebook, but the amount of work I need to do to get the money out, I can do that same amount of work and make more money on Instagram. So I'll just focus on Instagram and make more money. Now, these platforms are free. All right, you've already gotten your UGC content that you can post on these platforms for free. You don't have to spend money. The next up is WhatsApp. And the reason why I say WhatsApp is 95% of people in Nigeria use WhatsApp. They are it's a very relative app for us. We're already used to communicating on WhatsApp. So infuse it into your business. Trust me. You have, I think I've said this so many times, you have customers that they will visit your website, take a screenshot of what they saw on your website, come to your WhatsApp and tell you that, they will send you that screenshot, tell you that, please send your bank details, this is what I want. They will not patronize, they will not buy that thing on the website. I don't know why, but I know why. And it's not something that is going to change anytime soon. So it's not their fault. Don't be a bitch. Don't be a bitch. Don't be that person that'll say, they must buy online. Don't be silly. Don't leave money on the table. If they want to send you the money via WhatsApp, tell them thank you very much. Remember, you've already registered your business. So ideally, it's still going to the same account, whether they buy online or they buy on WhatsApp. All right? Good. Now let's come to advertising costs. When it comes to advertising costs, I would suggest that you want to spend minimum of 1,500 per day for 3 months. And the reason why I'm giving you 3 months is because within 3 months, you would know whether that dropshipping product that you started to sell or that product that you brought from China or somewhere else that you started to sell is really going to pop off. If not, it's time to switch things up. But yeah, 1.5 minimum per day, right? You can go up to 5K per day if you can afford it. So that's where the whole 135,000 to 450,000 comes in. And it's solely depending on the kind of business you have. Now, when everything goes according to plan, because trust me, it's going to go according to plan, you are going to now make a lot of money and then increase your ads. For context, some of the ads I run per day are as high as 20-25K per day. For context. And that's the ones that are within Nigeria. There are other brands I work with where you spend 50 to 100 US dollars, sometimes $500 per day. This is not child's play, man. Mark Zuckerberg, he get back. Now, why is he fresh? He get back. But yeah, let's continue. Next up, you have your website, right? You have your website, you have your storefront, you have your e-commerce store, whatever it is you want to call it. There are two options. I'm just going to give you two options here, guys. I'm not going to give you too many different things to do. You either have Paystack storefront, which is free of charge, right? Or you go the Shopify route. You build your Shopify store and things like that. Now, when it comes to Paystack, the reason why I say this is it's a household name and people are already aware of it in Nigeria and Africa at large. So it's not going to sound funny when you tell somebody that, you can buy it off my Paystack storefront. They'll be like, really? Okay, that's nice. And then you can go and check it. It's very common and it's free. If you want me to talk more about Paystack, let me know in the comments. I can do some tutorial videos for you guys about Paystack. Just let me know in the comments. Let me know where you're commenting from as well. If you're within Nigeria, where in Nigeria? If you're outside Nigeria, where are you from? I want to know more about you guys. The same way, I'm sharing all these deets. You guys should open up more to me. But yeah. What was I saying? What was the next one I said? Shopify, So the next one is Shopify. Now with Shopify, the reason why I have 56,000 naira is because, again, similar to your ad spend for 3 months, with Shopify, they're currently running a promo where it's $1 per month. So you spend $3 in 3 months, right? And then you pay for your domain. Your domain is about $32 to $36. So that's like 52K. So 52K plus 4,800 is 56,000. Actually, 56,800 naira. But you get the gist. Now, once you pass that 3-month mark, you would then begin to pay $32 basic, and then you would pay a transaction fee for every purchase you make. But because you already have a winning product or a solid product that you've already been marketing for 3 months, you already have content that is popping off, naturally, once you switch to a full Shopify basic plan, paying $32 a month, you'll be able to afford it because you've already costed for it in your product. Okay, I know we didn't talk about how to cost for products in this particular video, and the reason why I said it is costing for products is a different ballgame entirely, guys. If you want me to talk about costing for products, profit margins, all of that, let me know. I'll do a particular video just for that, because a lot of people miss that, and that's where shaggy. That's where they used to see shaggy in business, shaggy. But yeah, last but not least, you now have your miscellaneous spends. Now, this miscellaneous spends, it's depending on the kind of business you do, right? So, for example, some fashion brands and clothing brands that I've run in the past, you have to cost for your mannequin, right? You will need mannequin now. You can't be standing to take picture all the time. Your hanger, what's that thing called that you roll up and down that gives a very nice aesthetic? What's it called? If I can remember, I'll put the picture here. But there's that. You cost for it, right? It's not too expensive nowadays, I think, or I hope. Then your studio, you're not paying rent because obviously you're going to start your business from your house. Don't be silly. Don't waste that money. That money you want to spend on rent, use that money somewhere else. Don't try it. Who do you think you are? You want to form me big. You now start business. You now go and rent a place. Don't be silly, please. It's an online business. Start from your house. Start from your bedroom. That money that you want to spend on renting a spot and all of that, don't do that. If you want to rent a spot, it's fine. But your first 3 months, you need to have what they call proof of concept. So don't go and waste money anyhow. Good. Right? Now, when you look at all these costs together, you can actually start your e-commerce business with as low as 300 to 350,000 naira. Your first serious e-commerce business, guys, it will be registered. You will start running ads, things like that. Okay? And you can start with 300, 350, and it can go to 2 million. Okay? It can go to 2 million naira. Now, it depends on the business you want to run. It honestly depends on the business you want to run. It depends on the products you want to sell. It depends on your business model, all those amazing things. But typically, the cheapest you can start with, I would probably say, a serious business, not share or play. I would probably say you would start with 300, 350K. Yeah. You can start with less, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of things that we would substitute for what I spoke about in this video, but there will be more manpower involved. Hopefully you don't burn out, but yeah, that's pretty much what I would suggest. I also have a bootcamp that talks about how you want to start your first e-commerce business. It's called the DMS Bootcamp, or Digital Millionaire Startup Program. Right? I like DMS. It's short and sweet. But yeah, in this particular bootcamp, we talk about how you can find profitable products, how you can create winning ads, and how you can create a profitable, optimized e-commerce store. If you're interested in those kind of things, I'll leave the description. I'll leave the link in the description. No, I'll not leave the description in the link. I'll leave the link in the description, and you can join the wait list. If there's any other questions you have, drop it in the comments. If not, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.